Okay, so this video is got some changing the subject with like lots of steps to it involving powers and fractions. So they are a lot more challenging, but I'll take you through different types of examples. So here I want to make, I'm going to make x the subject in all of them. I'm going to make x the subject. So I've got y equals 8 plus 8x all divided by p. So the last thing that happened here was this division. So I'm going to get rid of that p first by multiplying everything by p. I get yp equals 8 plus ax. And now I want to undo this plus 8. So I'm going to subtract 8 from the left-hand side. So it'll be yp, take away 8, left with ax. But I still don't have x by itself. So I'm going to divide everything by a. So it'll be yp, take away 8, divided by a equals x. And now x is the subject. So it's just like the area examples, but you go backwards and undo everything, but this has 3 steps to it. That's what makes it more complicated. Now this next example involves a fraction, like here, but this time the fraction wasn't the last thing that happened. So in this example, the last thing that happened was that I divided by p. Here, x was divided by p, then I subtracted 6. So before I worry about the fraction, I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So it'll be y plus 6 equals x divided by p. And now I can think about removing this fraction. So I'll multiply everything by p. So I'm multiplying the whole thing by p. So to show that, I'm going to use brackets. So it's p multiplying this whole thing, and then I'm just left with x. Now you don't have to expand these brackets because x is the subject, and that's all I wanted to do. Okay, so the important thing is to notice the difference between this example where the division happened first and this example where the division was the last thing to happen. Okay, now I still want to make x a subject, but now I'm going to get some powers. So again, just work backwards. So x was squared, so the squared, then multiplied by 6, then I subtracted 2w. So I'm going to go from here and back to the beginning. So the first thing I'm going to do is add 2w. So it'd be y plus 2w equals 6x squared. Now by laws of indices, I know the squaring happened before the 6, so I have to divide by 6 first. So it'd be y plus 2w divided by 6, and that gives me x squared, but I still don't have x all by itself. I'm going to undo this squaring. Now this will look complicated, but you don't need to actually do any calculations. I'm going to square root everything here to get just x. So it's going to be a big square root, and then inside that square root is this. And all of that gives me x. So this was 3 steps, but each step was quite complicated. And then this last one has a square root and a fraction. So here I've got 3x, I want x as subject. So this time x was multiplied by 3 first, then it was all square rooted, then I divided by a. I've got to work backwards. So first I'll multiply by a. So ay equals the square root of 3x. And now to undo this square root, I have to square this left-hand side. So I want everything squared. So again, I'm going to use the brackets to show that. And that leaves me just with 3x. And the last thing I have to do is undo the multiplying by 3 by dividing by 3. So that'll be ay squared divided by 3 equals x. Okay. Now these 4 examples were quite challenging, especially for Form 2. But I think some of you can cope with it from what I saw from your work on Tuesday. Okay.